Nowhere is the issue of cyclist safety more relevant than in London. It's not surprising really, given the sheer weight of the vehicle traffic and the fact that Londoners make over 500,000 bike trips every single day. That represents a massive 150% increase in just over a decade. And what's more, Transport for London aims to boost that by 400% by 2026. If you happen to be a lorry operator, that poses quite a challenge because the interface with cyclists really isn't going to get any easier. So let's just look for a moment at a reconstruction of what happens when things go wrong. Well, that sort of incident is obviously pretty awful. So what are the most responsible lorry operators doing to tackle their end of things? We've come to South East London to one of the members of the Mineral Products Association to see what they're doing about one of the most pressing issues of the moment. The company in question is FM Conway. So Joanne, you're a director of FM Conways. Tell me, how seriously is the company taking this?
Well, as a London-based contractor carrying out over 360,000 vehicle movements per year in London, we have no choice but to take this seriously, and we are. And back in 2009, our involvement in one of the London cycling initiatives really opened our eyes as to how many extra bikes were going to be on the London roads day to day, and we decided that it was time for us to step up and take some action.
What is the extent of the company's investment in this?
Well, we've upscaled our vehicles to include a £200,000 investment scheme. That's looking at sensors, warning signs, signals, alerts, side impact protection, all to ensure that our vehicles are not only up to the specified standards, but that every vehicle on our fleet is up to that specified standard.
And what sort of response have you had from TfL and from cyclists in general?
Well, we make sure that we work in partnership with organisations like TfL, the MPA and the Metropolitan Police to ensure that any of our initiatives are in partnership with them, and that we're collaborating with other contractors within our industry to make sure that these are industry-wide changes, not just for us as one single contractor.
So Joanne, what is the future looking like?
We've got a long way to go. There's still a lot of work to do. We're one single contractor working in London. We can only make so many changes, but we're trying to be a leader, show best practice, but we all need to work together. That includes our industry, any bodies we're working with, and especially cyclists.
Now this truck is packed with the latest safety features from front to back, starting with here 2 warning signs that warn cyclists not to go on the inside of the truck. And if they do, this is the first of 7 sensors along the side that warn the driver. Now this brings us up to the side guard, and this prevents any cyclist that may come into contact with the truck from falling under the wheels. Now when we come up nearer to the cab, there's this audible device that will alert any cyclist that the truck is wanting to turn left.
Stand clear. This vehicle is turning left.
Now when we come up to the passenger side of the truck, there is a particular blind spot here, but this camera gives the driver a complete view of the whole length of his lorry. Pedestrians stepping off the pavement is a particular problem when we get to the front of the cab, so there are 2 further sensors here. And a look-down mirror that gives the driver a complete view of the front of his truck. Well, we've seen the outside of the truck. I've now stepped into the cab of the truck to see it from the driver's point of view. I'm joined by Chris in the cab of his FM Conway truck. Chris, thank you for joining us. Now, let's have a scenario here where we've got a cyclist coming up on the left side of your truck. How and what do you see and hear?
Well, basically, you'll be looking in the near side mirrors. You'll be listening for the sensor to go off, for the side sensors. 4 are based around the cab, because that is the blind spot. That's the most dangerous place for any cyclist to be. You've got to have 100% concentration driving, and take that into account as well. Yeah.
Now, what is the company doing for training with you guys with these new pieces of equipment?
Yeah, well, we get quite a bit of training from Conway's, as much training as you could wish for, really. You get the CPC courses, which everybody has to do that's got a HGV licence, and Conway's put you through all the training that is required. It's great.
And what has been the overall response from your colleagues to all this new equipment?
Yeah, they love it. Yeah, it's good. How they coped without it is unbelievable.
Chris, thank you very much indeed. Well, I don't think there's much doubt that MPA members are taking the safety of cyclists very seriously. But what is very apparent is that with cyclist numbers set to increase dramatically, this is one challenge that won't go away.